Hi everyone, and welcome to another Transformers Rise of the Beast theory. Now grab yourself a hot beverage and let's transform and roll out to another theory. Now I just want to say this again, it's a theory. I'm not saying I'm spitting hard facts here, I'm not saying this is the truth, but it's something that might change your perspective on specifically Optimus Primal and perhaps Maximals in Rise of the Beasts. Now, when I initially saw Rise of the Beasts in cinemas, and every time I've watched it since, there is something about Optimus Primal that doesn't sit right with me. And it's nothing how his character was written, it's actually part of the theory that I wanted to talk to you about today. And it's the theory of, did Optimus Primal know the ending to Rise of the Beasts before it happened? Now, there's not much lore on the Maximals in Rise of the Beast, not like there is, the original Beast Wars. We know a lot about that, we know a lot about the lore, but as far as the Rise of the Beast timeline, we don't really know all that much about the Maximals and the Predacons. Just that they're from the past and the future, like the general sort of theme is with the Beast formers. Now, what I am proposing is that Optimus Primal knew that Optimus Prime was going to sacrifice himself at the end of the movie. And the reason I say this is right at the end where, Optimus, is willing to sacrifice himself to save the planet and, his friends. RC is visibly upset. Elena is visibly upset. Noah's upset, but he's, taking care of Elena. And, RC's, like, no. And Optimus Primal just sort of looks up to him and say, your sacrifice becomes our oath. He doesn't try and persuade him. Optimus Primal just sort of accepts it. And you could say that this is because Primal is a leader like Optimus, and Primal understands that Optimus is doing this to protect his team and the planet, and Optimus Primal would do the same thing. But the thing that's wrong is we know about time travel, and we know that if you mess something up in the past, it will alter the future. So, Primal doesn't really say, actually Optimus Prime, you might die here, there's a good chance you might die, so the future isn't screwed up. I'm going to sacrifice myself instead of you. Optimus Primal doesn't offer himself instead of Prime. Optimus Primal just accepts it and says, your sacrifice becomes our oath. And he doesn't seem to give himself, he's not willing to sacrifice himself. He doesn't put himself out there like Optimus does. And the thing is, we know that Primal has heard legends of Optimus Prime, because in the film he says that Optimus Prime isn't the Optimus Prime that he imagined him to be. So we know Optimus Primal has heard stories and legends of Optimus, and if this was truly where Optimus Prime would have died, sacrificing himself, I feel like obviously Optimus Primal and possibly, Rhinox and maybe the other Maximals, they'd know. It's like a world leader, like a famous world leader dying. It gets recorded in history and loads of people know about it. And I kind of feel like Optimus Primal knew the ending. He knew Optimus wouldn't die. And that's kind of why Optimus Primal didn't really step forward and offer to sacrifice himself instead, because he knew that it wouldn't, it wouldn't end badly. Optimus Primal knew that Optimus would survive, because if Optimus was to die, Primal knows Optimus Prime's legend. If Optimus was to die in a big fight to save Earth against Unicron, Optimus Primal would know about this, I would feel. Maybe the other Maximals as well. And I just kind of feel like if Optimus was to volunteer, if Optimus Primal, that is, was to volunteer instead of Optimus Prime to sacrifice himself, I feel Optimus Primal would know that this would screw the continuity up and possibly create a different timeline where none of this ever happened anyway. So I feel like Optimus Primal just sort of accepts it because he knows this isn't Optimus's death. This isn't what was recorded in the history books. So Optimus Prime is safe, and Optimus Primal just acknowledges and says, "Your sacrifice becomes our oath," and leaves. And I almost feel like it's Noah. Noah was the one who changed his mind, went back for Optimus, and that's probably when Primal thought, these are the events what make Optimus safe. This human going back and saving Optimus, this is why Optimus doesn't die. This is why the history books don't say Optimus died here. This is why history wasn't created this way, if that makes sense. When you talk about time travel and things, it does become a little bit complicated, and it is a little bit hard to explain sometimes, especially when you've got an idea in your head and it works out, but when you're trying to actually verbally explain it to someone, it doesn't always make sense. So I hope what I'm trying to say, makes sense. And who knows, maybe if Optimus Primal did volunteer himself and say, you know what, Optimus, I'll sacrifice myself because history, we need you to essentially carry the timeline forward, because if you die, the rest of the timeline is screwed up. Maybe if Optimus Prime did that, if Optimus Primal actually went and did that himself, maybe that's the alternate ending we could have got, where Optimus Prime actually gets sucked up into, the black hole, wormhole, teleportation, and goes to Unicron. So, maybe that's a valid theory, possibly. Again, not saying it is, but it's definitely something that I think has some merit to it. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's fact, but it's something that has a little bit of merit to it, I feel. Now, it almost reminds me of Avengers Endgame, where Iron Man says to Doctor Strange, is this the timeline that's going to save everyone, save the world? And Doctor Strange, he says something along the lines of, if I tell you it's going to work, it won't work. And I kind of feel that was done a little bit here, where if Primal had told Optimus before they went in battle, everything's going to be fine, you're not going to die here, everything's going to work out, then it wouldn't have worked out. But the fact that Optimus Primal kept it to himself, I feel like that is the reason why everything turned out okay. Because he didn't screw with the timeline and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's something I've been thinking about since I watched the film, and just something I've eventually thought about making a video for, because you have thoughts when you watch a film, but then eventually those thoughts kind of get answered, and your questions, you don't have the questions anymore because you watch the film that many times and you read the books and the comics and look at the interviews, and eventually you answer your own questions. But this is something that I've never really been satisfied with an answer, and this is the only thing I can think of. So if you agree with me or disagree with me, keep it friendly, but let me know in the comments below if you have anything you want to add to the theory, or tell me your own theories. Just let me know, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Now transform and roll out. And also, don't forget to join the Discord if you wish, link in the description below. Follow me on Instagram at tffarm5000, and keep the general thing, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my Transformers stop motions and my other movie lore videos I'll leave at the end of this video. And yeah, anyway, hope you all have a great day. Until all are one.